Alex had always been fascinated by the unknown. As a human engineer on the edge of the galaxy, he had seen many strange worlds, but none quite like the one he now stood on. The ground shimmered with a faint golden glow, almost like the soil itself was alive. Gigantic plants stretched toward the sky, their leaves pulsing with light as if breathing. Small, floating spores drifted lazily in the air, giving everything a dreamlike quality. Alex could feel the planet's energy beneath his feet, a hum that tickled his nerves and made his skin tingle. He had been sent to explore this uncharted territory, rumored to contain intelligent micro-life that no human had ever encountered. Alex had his toolkit ready, his scanner humming softly as he approached a peculiar structure. It was a portal-like formation, almost crystalline, with edges that glowed faintly blue. Its surface was smooth but pulsed with a strange rhythm, like a heartbeat. Alex crouched down, studying it carefully. "This is incredible," he murmured, adjusting his scanner. He wanted to measure the energy flow, to see if it could be harnessed or studied safely. He had learned long ago that curiosity could be dangerous in the wrong environment, but the thrill of discovery always outweighed caution. As he reached out to touch the structure, his foot caught on a root-like tendril that had grown out of the glowing ground. He stumbled, his hand brushing the portal's surface. A strange sensation rippled through him. The world around him stretched, then shrank, and before he could steady himself, everything became enormous. His tools were suddenly the size of trees. The glowing plants towered above him like skyscrapers. Alex realized, with a mix of shock and panic, that he had shrunk. He was tiny, smaller than the spores floating in the air. His mind raced. He knew he needed to remain calm. The micro-world was dangerous. Every vibration of the ground now felt like a quake. Even the smallest movement of a floating spore could knock him off balance. He looked around and noticed movement ahead, a tiny, sentient creature trapped inside a small glowing chamber within the portal structure itself. The creature's eyes were wide, and it made a soft, pained sound. Alex approached carefully. "Hey, it's okay," he whispered, though he doubted the tiny alien understood his words. To his surprise, a voice echoed in his mind. "Help! Please! Trapped!" The alien communicated telepathically, its tone weak but urgent. Alex realized that the creature, whom he later learned was called Scifi, was intelligent and aware, but unable to escape. Alex's engineer instincts took over. He examined the chamber, noting the intricate network of tunnels and glowing pathways that seemed alive. The structure pulsed in response to their movements, almost as if it were aware of their presence. Every time Alex touched the glowing walls, it shifted slightly, forcing him to adjust his grip to avoid being squashed or pushed aside. He moved slowly, speaking softly to Scifi. "Don't worry, I'll get you out of here," he promised. The alien moaned again, a sound of both pain and fear. Alex studied the internal pathways. They twisted and turned like a maze, with energy currents flowing in unpredictable directions. He realized that if he made a wrong move, both he and Scifi could be trapped, or worse. Using a tiny scanner from his toolkit, he mapped the safest route. The paths were narrow, but he had to squeeze through, careful not to disturb the living structure too much. As he moved, Alex noticed something remarkable. The inside of the creature was not just a living space, it was a network of intelligence. The bioluminescent patterns shifted as if thinking, and he could sense the rhythm of the energy flowing through the walls. He had read about organisms that functioned like a neural network, but he had never experienced it firsthand. Every step was a lesson, every touch a test of his understanding. He had to be precise, patient, and creative. Scifi floated beside him, small and fragile but remarkably alert. "This way. Careful," it warned. Alex followed, marveling at the alien's awareness. Despite its tiny size, Ziri understood the dangers of its own body better than he could. He realized that cooperation was essential. Alone, he might have failed, but together, they could navigate the labyrinth safely. Suddenly, the host alien stirred. A wave of movement sent vibrations through the tunnels, and Alex had to cling to the glowing walls to avoid being thrown against them. Ziri gasped, its tiny form quivering. "Hold on! Stay with me!" Alex shouted in his mind, feeling the urgency of the moment. The internal environment reacted to their panic, shifting corridors and closing off some pathways. Alex realized that time was critical. He needed a solution before the creature's movements trapped them permanently. Alex scanned the walls for weak points, looking for a way to create a temporary safe path. He found a junction where the energy currents converged and calculated that he could manipulate the flow using a small device from his kit. He adjusted the controls, creating a stable corridor of light that would not collapse under the creature's movements. Ziri floated into the corridor cautiously, and Alex followed. The corridor was narrow but stable, a bridge through the chaos. As they moved, Alex felt a sense of awe. The internal anatomy of this alien was unlike anything he had ever studied. The energy flows seemed to respond to thought, almost as if the creature could sense intentions. He had to move with care, not just physically, but mentally. His focus became absolute, every sense attuned to the smallest changes in the environment. Ziri guided him through twists and turns, warning of dangers before they appeared. Left, then down. Careful with the pulse, it instructed. Alex followed precisely, grateful for the alien's guidance. They moved as a team, a human and a tiny alien, navigating a living labyrinth together. Hours seemed to pass, though Alex had no way of measuring time. The environment was disorienting, the scale unfamiliar. He felt exhausted, but the determination to help Ziri kept him going. Every tunnel they passed revealed more of the creature's internal complexity, pulsing nodes that acted like brains, glowing veins carrying life energy, chambers that expanded and contracted rhythmically. It was both beautiful and dangerous. Finally, they reached a chamber where the glow was brightest, the energy most intense. Alex realized this was a core area, a critical hub for the creature's internal systems. The path forward seemed blocked by a pulsating membrane that reacted violently to touch. Ziri moaned, its tiny voice echoing in Alex's mind. "It's too strong. I can't push it," Alex thought quickly. He removed a miniature energy projector from his kit and calibrated it to emit a pulse that would resonate with the membrane without harming the creature. Carefully, he directed it at the barrier. The membrane shivered, then parted slightly, allowing a small passage. Ziri's eyes widened with hope. You did it!" Alex smiled, though he was sweating from the effort. "We're not out yet," he warned. "One step at a time." He guided Ziri through the opening, moving as slowly as possible to avoid triggering a collapse. The tunnels narrowed further, and Alex realized they were deeper inside the creature than he had initially thought. Every step required balance, coordination, and careful observation of the energy flows. Suddenly, a surge of movement shook the corridors violently. Alex and Ziri were thrown against the walls. The tiny alien cried out in fear, and Alex instinctively shielded it with his body. The walls vibrated, pulsing with energy that threatened to crush them. Alex's heart raced. He had to stabilize the situation immediately. Using his portable device, he projected a temporary field that dampened the energy surges, creating a brief window of safety. Ziri clung to him, trembling. "Thank you," it whispered in his mind. Alex knew the worst was not over. The exit was still far, and the creature's internal environment was unpredictable. Every step forward was a risk, but he refused to give up. He analyzed the patterns, predicting the creature's movements based on the pulsing energy. Slowly, Carefully, they advanced, navigating twists, turns, and sudden shifts. The bond between human and alien grew stronger with each challenge. As they approached a junction that seemed like the final path toward an exit, the corridor collapsed behind them, cutting off the way they had come. Ziri moaned in panic, its small form shaking. Alex took a deep breath, realizing that improvisation was their only option. He had studied the energy flows, the pulsing pathways, and the behavior of the creature's internal systems. Using that knowledge, he began creating a new passage, combining his device with the natural currents to carve a safe path forward. Hours of careful maneuvering passed. The tension was unrelenting, but Alex refused to let fear control him. He focused on each step, each pulse of energy, each signal from Ziri. The tiny alien's moans had become more of a guide than a cry, warning him of dangers before they appeared. Together, they navigated the living labyrinth, human ingenuity and alien instinct working in harmony. Finally, they saw it, a faint light ahead, brighter than the surrounding glow. The exit was near. Alex felt a surge of hope. He moved faster, carefully guiding Ziri toward the opening. The corridors narrowed once more, and the energy pulses became erratic, but Alex's knowledge and quick thinking allowed them to avoid disaster. Just as they reached the final passage, the walls shifted violently one last time. Alex braced himself, holding Ziri close. The energy pulsed around them, almost like a heartbeat in fast motion, and then, with a final shimmer, they were through. The light enveloped them, and Alex felt himself returning to normal size. They emerged outside the creature, both safe and intact. Ziri floated beside him, its small form trembling but unharmed. Alex breathed heavily, his heart still racing from the ordeal. "We made it," he said softly. The tiny alien's eyes glowed faintly, a mixture of relief and admiration. "You saved me," it whispered. Alex smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. He realized something profound. Human creativity, courage, and intelligence had carried them through an impossible situation. Even in a world completely alien to him, he had adapted, thought critically, and worked with Ziri to survive. The experience was terrifying, yes, but it also highlighted the unique strength of humans, the ability to think, to plan, to cooperate, and to respect life, even in its strangest forms. As the two looked around, Alex saw the vast alien landscape anew, not as an outsider, but as a participant in its intricate dance of life. He knew that more challenges awaited them, but for now he had accomplished the impossible, and he had gained a friend, a tiny, extraordinary alien who would forever remind him of the value of ingenuity, courage, and empathy. The adventure was far from over. The planet still held secrets, and Ziri seemed eager to show them. But one thing was certain. Alex, the human, had proven that even the smallest creature could rely on the biggest minds to survive and thrive in the unknown. Alex stood outside the glowing portal structure, taking a deep breath as his heart slowed. The world around him pulsed with life, the giant plants swaying gently in the alien wind. Beside him floated Ziri, still trembling slightly but glowing with a soft, steady light. The tiny alien's gaze was fixed on Alex, as if silently measuring the human who had risked everything to help it. For a moment, the silence between them was complete, filled only with the hum of the planet's energy. "You're safe now," Alex said softly, though he wasn't sure Ziri would understand fully. Instead of speaking aloud, he focused his thoughts, sending a calm signal to the tiny alien. Ziri responded immediately, a flicker of light pulsing in rhythm with Alex's heartbeat. "You did not hesitate. I feared you would leave," it said. Alex felt a twinge of pride, realizing the alien had judged him based on courage and intent, qualities that defined humanity in its purest form. Despite the relief, Alex knew their ordeal wasn't over. The planet was alive in ways he had only begun to understand. The portal structure, while fascinating, was part of a vast network of energy pathways that connected living organisms across the terrain. He needed to ensure Ziri's safety and perhaps even learn more about this extraordinary ecosystem. "We need to find a safe place to rest," he thought, projecting calm reassurance. "There is a nearby grove, protected, stable. We should go there." Sci-Fi flickered with agreement and floated beside him, guiding the way through towering bioluminescent plants. The journey to the grove was slow and deliberate. Every step required careful navigation. The ground itself seemed to shift beneath them, tiny energy currents creating ripples that could unbalance a smaller creature like Sci-Fi, or even Alex in his miniaturized state earlier. Alex observed and adapted, noting the patterns of the energy flows and predicting their next movements. Each challenge was a puzzle, and he solved them with patience and careful reasoning. As they moved, Sci-Fi began to communicate more freely. "Why do you help human? Others? Afraid?" Alex smiled. It was true. Many species he had encountered viewed humans with suspicion. Yet humans thrived not just because of strength, but because of empathy and ingenuity. "Because helping is what we do," Alex replied through thought. "We try to understand, to protect, to solve problems together. It is our way." Sci-Fi pulsed brightly, as if it appreciated the explanation, though the concept of human empathy was foreign. Hours passed, and the grove finally came into view. It was nestled between massive glowing roots, a natural sanctuary where energy pulses were gentle and predictable. Alex could feel the calm wash over him as he entered the grove. Sci-Fi hovered in the center, visibly relaxing. "Safe, for now," it whispered, its tiny form glowing warmly. Alex nodded, realizing that the first step of their journey had succeeded. They had survived the internal maze of the alien, and Sci-Fi was now safe. But the planet had more to teach. Alex had always believed that humans could adapt, that intelligence and creativity were more powerful than brute force. Now, in this glowing grove, he saw proof. Every challenge they had faced required quick thinking, observation, and cooperation. Humans had survived not by dominating, but by understanding. He felt a sense of pride, not arrogance, but the quiet satisfaction of knowing he had trusted his mind and his instincts, and they had carried him through. Sci-Fi moved closer to him, curiosity flickering in its bright eyes. "You, strange, small, but strong, not like others." Alex laughed softly. "Humans are full of surprises," he replied. He realized that in helping Sci-Fi, he had proven a fundamental truth. Even in worlds unimaginably different, human ingenuity could find solutions where others could not. Sci-Fi seemed to sense this, its glow pulsating in admiration. As they rested, Alex began to examine the portal structure more closely from the grove. Using portable sensors, he recorded data about energy patterns, internal pathways, and the life forms connected to the network. Sci-Fi hovered near him, offering subtle guidance with its telepathy. "Careful. Do not disturb the core. It remembers." Alex nodded, appreciating the alien's instincts. Even though Sci-Fi was small and appeared fragile, its understanding of the living network was deep, proving that intelligence came in many forms. Their partnership began to strengthen. Sci-Fi shared knowledge of the planet, showing Alex the hidden currents that carried energy through roots, tunnels, and even through the floating spores. The tiny alien moved with precision, pointing out safe paths and warning of dangerous fluctuations. Alex observed carefully, realizing that his human perspective, combined with Sci-Fi's intimate knowledge of the environment, made them a perfect team. Eventually, Alex decided to test a more ambitious experiment. He carefully adjusted his miniaturization device, planning to create a temporary energy bridge that could allow them to navigate higher levels of the portal structure safely. Ziri's glow pulsed nervously. Risky, but I trust you. Alex smiled, humbled by the trust. He calibrated the device, projected the energy bridge, and began to lead them along the shimmering pathway. The bridge pulsed with stability, bending and flowing with the planet's energy. As they moved higher, they encountered new hazards. Energy pulses became erratic, and the living pathways twisted in unpredictable ways. Alex used every skill he had learned as an engineer, predicting movements, calculating safe zones, and adapting in real time. Ziri followed, guiding him telepathically and warning of potential collapses. Left, then up. Careful with the pulse. Alex followed precisely, feeling exhilarated by the challenge. During the climb, Alex and Ziri shared a quiet moment of reflection. Alex realized that the tiny alien had taught him something profound. Courage and intelligence were inseparable. Without Ziri's guidance, he might have misjudged the environment. Without his own quick thinking, they might have never reached the grove. Together, they had created a partnership that transcended size, species, and language. Finally, they reached a vantage point where the entire portal structure spread out below them, glowing like a city of light. Alex marveled at the view. The energy currents wove through the environment like threads of a tapestry, connecting life in ways he could barely comprehend. Ziri hovered beside him, small and glowing, yet radiating a quiet pride. You, human, clever. Alex laughed softly. We all have our strengths, he replied. He realized that humans, with their curiosity, adaptability, and ingenuity, could face even the most alien challenges and thrive. Their attention was drawn to a faint movement within the portal's network. Alex's scanner detected fluctuations indicating the presence of another life form, perhaps intelligent. He shared the reading with Ziri. Another unknown? It asked. Alex nodded. Yes, but together we can observe safely. We've learned to work as a team. Ziri flickered with approval, and they prepared to explore further, cautiously and deliberately. As they navigated the new corridors, Alex reflected on the journey. He had slipped inside by mistake, encountered danger, and faced uncertainty that most humans could not imagine. Yet, he had not panicked. He had adapted, analyzed, and cooperated with Ziri. The tiny alien had moaned, not from weakness but from fear and pain, and Alex had responded with empathy, creativity, and intelligence. He realized this was the essence of being human, the ability to think, to feel, to adapt, and to act with both courage and wisdom. The corridors eventually led to a chamber filled with soft, glowing energy. It was calm here, stable, and seemed to respond positively to their presence. Ziri hovered in the center, its glow pulsating with contentment. Alex stepped carefully, observing the patterns and noting the energy flows. He realized that the chamber could serve as a base for further exploration, a safe haven where they could rest and study. Ziri moved closer to Alex, their tiny form brushing against his hand. Human, thank you for not leaving me, for helping me survive. Alex smiled, feeling a warmth he had not expected. I didn't do it for thanks, he replied. I did it because it was right, and because you trusted me. The tiny alien's glow brightened, almost as if it understood the depth of human values. As night fell on the planet, the grove and portal structure shimmered under alien starlight. Alex and Ziri settled within the chamber, safe for the first time since the accident. Alex reflected on the lessons of the day. Courage, intelligence, empathy, and cooperation could overcome even the most impossible challenges. Humanity's uniqueness was not in strength or size, but in the ability to adapt, to think, and to work together across barriers that seemed insurmountable. Ziri pulsed softly, and Alex could feel its thoughts intertwining with his own in a gentle rhythm. Human, different, special, strong in ways, beyond size. Alex nodded, knowing that the experience had changed both of them. The tiny alien had learned to trust a human, and the human had discovered a new depth of courage and ingenuity within himself. The adventure was far from over. The planet still held secrets, the portal network still pulsed with hidden energy, and countless challenges awaited. But Alex felt ready. With Ziri by his side, he knew that humans could face even the most alien and dangerous environments and prevail. They were small, fragile, but brilliant, an idea that would carry them through every obstacle ahead. As they rested under the shimmering light, Alex whispered to the tiny alien, "Tomorrow we explore further, together." Ziri's glow brightened in response, and for the first time, Alex felt a true connection to this alien world. It was a bond forged in courage, respect, and ingenuity, the very essence of what made humans extraordinary. The story of the day would become a memory, a lesson in survival, partnership, and the remarkable capacity of humans to rise to any challenge. The tiny alien, once trapped and fearful, now hovered confidently beside him. And Alex, the human engineer who had slipped inside by mistake, had proven that even the smallest beings could rely on humanity's greatest strengths, intelligence, empathy, and courage. As the stars of the alien sky shimmered above, the human and the tiny alien rested, ready to face whatever the planet had in store next, together.